everyone, it's Kaylin. Thank you for tuning in for this quick focus flow. We're going to have primary emphasis here on our hips to really open them up, especially when we spend a lot of our day seated. So this is something that you can do at any time, and you need just minimal things. So a couple of things that I would recommend is having some sort of block or pillow situation, just really with the intent of being able to bring the ground closer to you, just to make some of the postures a little bit more accessible. If at any point something doesn't feel good or feel right, modify as needed. I'll provide a bunch of modifications as we go along, but you know your body. All right, we're gonna get started on our hands and knees. So coming to a tabletop position, just taking a second here to settle in, maybe some intuitive movement. So you might start by just making some hip circles, maybe just slowly rounding, opening up, maybe extending past your wrists and your fingers, and then lowering glutes to your heels, changing directions. You might even bring your fingertips towards your knees and open up through those wrists here. You might tuck your toes under, begin to stretch out the bottoms of our feet. And then finding stillness in your tabletop here, taking a second to take note if your elbows are above your wrists, your shoulders are above your elbows, and then your knees are stacked below your hips. On your next inhale, dropping your belly, lifting your chin, coming into your cow spine. On an exhale, bringing your chin towards your chest, arching that back. And inhale, dropping the belly, chin up. And exhale, chin to chest, arching through the spine, pressing down through the ground. One more time, inhale, belly drops, gaze up. And exhale, pushing the ground away, arching through that back. And then returning back to neutral. From here, we're going to step back into a plank. So left foot, right foot, here in your plank. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hiking your hips up, finding a downward dog. Taking a second to open up through the backs of your legs. Maybe moving your feet from side to side, pedaling out through your feet. And then finding some stillness here. Getting ready to move into three-legged dog, pressing down through your right foot. Inhale, left heel comes up toward the ceiling. And exhale, bringing your foot between your hands in whatever way works. Lowering that right knee down to the ground, untucking the toes. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms are framing your ears. Maybe shifting your weight forward a bit, pressing down through that right shin. Should really feel this in that right hip flexor here. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your head, chest open. Taking an inhale and an exhale out through the mouth. Releasing your hands, framing that front foot again. This time tucking the right toes under, grounding that right hand next to your left foot. Inhale, open up. Maybe taking a couple arm circles here. And then coming back to frame that foot. Stepping that left foot back to meet your right here in your plank. And then piking your hips up to find a downward dog. Pressing down now through that left foot. Inhale, your right foot comes up toward the ceiling. And on an exhale, bring that knee to your nose and then planting that foot in between your hands. Lowering your knee down to the ground, untucking your toes. Inhale, rise up to your crescent lunge. Again, maybe pressing down through that left shin, shifting your hips forward. Getting a to stretch that left hip flexor here. If this is hard on your knees, you might grab a blanket or a pillow and place your knee underneath. Maybe you interlace your hands behind your head again, or you open your arms out, goalpost arms. Taking inhales and exhales at your own pace. And on your next exhale, lowering your arms down, framing that foot. Tucking your left toes under, lifting your knee. Stepping your right foot to meet your left. Here in your plank, holding for 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees down. Knees wide, big toes together to touch. Coming into a child's pose. Well, here in your child's pose, you might begin to walk your hands over to the right, stacking your left palm on top of your right. Breathing deeply into that left side body. Inhale, coming back through center and changing sides. Right palm on top of the left. Breathing into that right side body here. And inhale, hands back center. And then an exhale, coming back up to a tabletop. So from your tabletop, moving your right knee kind of underneath your belly button. Taking your left knee and putting it behind. So you have sort of an X shape here. Bring your heels out wide. Then begin to lower your seat down to the mat. You might take your pillow or your blanket. You might sit up on top of this. This gives a little bit more space here within our hips. Now we might stay exactly right here if this is enough, or we might slowly walk our hands forward to bring our torso toward the mat. Taking a few rounds of deep breaths here. And inhale, coming back up. Shift back and allow your legs to unwind. Heels are planted. Coming back up forward now into this tabletop to then move into the opposite side. So this time taking your left knee under around your belly button and then picking up that right knee, moving it behind. Heels are wide. Then begin to slowly sit your seat down, back onto that cushion or perhaps onto the ground. Again, we might stay right here or we might begin to walk our hands forward. Just getting some good internal rotation here on our hips. Breathing deeply, knowing that you can come in and out of this at any point. And on your inhale, coming back up, this time unraveling. Maybe coming through an easy seat quickly just to move that cushion or that block out of the way. We're gonna find a 90-90 here. So taking your left shin, placing it in front, and then bringing your left thigh parallel. Now we might stay right here. We might walk forward. This is an alternative to a pigeon here, as that can sometimes be hard on the knees. We might also come up, open up through our chest. And you may just move back and forth through the two, moving in whatever way works for your body today. Might also bring your elbows down to the ground if that's accessible for you. And then your next inhale, coming all the way back up towards center, and then we're just going to switch sides. So this time bringing that right shin either toward the top of your mat or if you switch sides like me. And then bringing that left thigh parallel to the front. Again, same options apply. We might stay upright. We might get an opening through our chest. We might walk our hands forward. We might even bring our elbows down to the ground. Taking note of our breath, seeing if our exhales are longer than our inhales here. Your next inhale, coming back up, spine is straight. Bring the soles of your feet in front of you, planted on the mat. Begin to slowly lower down, coming to a reclined position. Bring your knees into your chest. Maybe wrap yourself up. Maybe you shift your hips from left to right here. Letting go of that bind. From here, opening your arms out wide to a T. Planting your feet onto the ground. Doing some windshield wipers with your knees here, moving left to right. The next time your knees come to the left, just allow them to fall. Your gaze might be out over your right shoulder here. Breathing into this gentle spinal twist. And inhale, bringing your gaze back forward, using your core to bring those knees back up toward the ceiling, and then allowing them to drop to the right side. Again, your gaze might go out over your left shoulder here, opening up through your quads, through your side, through your neck. Breathing deeply. Inhale, gaze comes back up forward, bringing your knees back center again. Then from here, again, bringing those knees back into your chest, wrapping yourself up. Releasing your feet back down to the mat, and then coming back up to a seat. And from this seat, preparing to conclude this short focus flow, taking an inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, lowering your hands down through heart center. Thank you for joining me.